Alright, welcome back to Rock and Rattle Retreat. This time we are working on the boiler, basically getting it ready for the radiant tech to be put on the walls. So we start off with, this is when we did the footers. Over a year ago, getting to a year and a half or so. Here is when we got the boiler. We got the foundation walls sitting there and the flats poured. And the boiler is going over the wall. All I can say is I suggest that you don't use these little dolly movers. We got them at Harbor Freight. They say they're rated for 1,000 pounds each. They are not rated for 1,000 pounds each. That's a 2,000 pound boiler, and if you don't have it on perfectly flat concrete, they bend and warp and whatever. Alright, so last we painted this wall, and I made a frame for the wall. So that over there is the manifold for the actual basement floor. Run hot water in that, and the floor warms up. So we got this all framed up, and since a whole bunch of stuff's going to be on it, we are attaching it to the sill plate with some plates. Don't want this thing falling down once it's got all the hardware up there. Manifolds, distributions, pumps. All kinds of stuff's going to be going on this wall. But we got to get the wall ready for it. So we get a couple of those plates up there, and then we're going to put some L brackets down on the bottom and attach it to the actual concrete wall. So we get these plates nailed on to the 2x4s down here. And then drill, concrete bit, and Tapcon these L brackets in place. They are not coming away from this wall. Alright, install this manifold over here. It's got some hold-off brackets that'll hold it. We got a little insulation behind it, because I'm trying to insulate it from the concrete wall. So we'll get back to this manifold in a little bit. Now, we're going to insulate the actual wall that I'm building from the concrete wall so no cold can come through and get into the workings, distribution lines, pumps, and so forth. And this was a while ago, and I believe my battery died here somewhere. So I didn't get the entire process, but you can tell I'm filling those cavities with foam. There, we got it completely filled, and we're going to cover this with some rough sawn lumber. Some of this, well, most of this was done when I was milling for the flooring. Yeah, that's to come yet too. So we have to use something to mount all that stuff to, and some oak 1x seems like a good idea to do that with. So we get those all screwed onto the actual framework, cut another one, rinse and repeat. Lots of screws. And got a bigger board. Now these are all pieces that came off the mill, and I didn't think they would be worth putting in for flooring. They've got defects in them, major enough that I don't think they're good for flooring, but they make good for a wall that's going to have stuff mounted on them. all he's got to do is hold screws in. And then it'll be insulated from that concrete wall, which is an exterior wall. And you can see the boiler on the left there. Still got to do a lot of work for that to get a flue out so that we can get it running and get water in it. And then I had boards that were long enough. This is a 12-foot wall. And now I'm piecing together a bunch of boards to go across. It takes a lot of boards. Alright, before I get down here, I figured I needed to fix the manifold because we got to chop this top part off with that has the pressure gauge. It's already got one of the legs off. Here's the other leg with a pipe cutter. I always have trouble with these pipe cutters. They want to kind of spiral down a little bit, not just cut it off straight. Did get it cut off, then we got to clean it up. Because it's not quite ready yet. Clean the inside, clean the outside. Because we're going to put these brass fittings on here so that we can install the pecs that goes on. So those need to be sweated on. This one needs to be cleaned up a little bit. There's a burr on the outside of it where the pipe cutter hit. That's going to be filed off so that the brass fitting can go on and be sweated on. So one hand filing, one holding the camera. Not the ideal situation. Alright. Get the camera to stay up there. And a little piece of sandpaper and clean it up some more. Clean up that brass fitting a little bit on the inside. And we get it put on there. Okay. Brass fitting. The pecs can go on top of that. 3/4 pecs. They're 1/2-inch pecs going down into the concrete. So, guess what? We got to get a torch. There's the wall at the moment. Okay. Take off the brass fitting. Nice and snug. And then we got some rosin. Okay. We're going to take the solder, coiled solder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip that in the rosin because it is not rosin filled or rosin core. Put a little bit in the actual brass fitting. Get a nice coat in there. And then we're going to put some on the copper pipe. Get it all over the up and down, all the way around. And when we get the torch on here, it'll melt and do a better coating. But we'll see if we can get it mostly coated beforehand. Okay. Put the brass fitting back on, all nice and rosined up. And the fun begins. A little extra light. Get the solder ready, get the torch ready. And start heating. Get it on all sides, get it all nice and warm. Wait till the solder starts running. And fill it with solder, it kind of sucks it right up. Wipe off some of the stuff off the bottom of it. And that'll be done. Can't sweat that on next to that foam, so I had to do it before the rest of those boards go on, because I have some more foam to go on the front to get it nice and sealed in and insulated. And there's the end of the wall, ready for the stuff to go on it. I've yet to go buy some of the stuff. I got copper pipe and all kinds of fittings to go. So that's all I got for this time. Stay tuned. We'll start radiant fittings soon, along with trying to put a flue in the side of the concrete where the boiler is. Subscribe, like, comment, and we'll catch you next time.